another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit and they fought their way back in.
There it is, game, set, and match.
Hello and welcome to the 2024-2025 APTA Tour. We're live from the Rolling Hills Country Club in Wilton, Connecticut, bringing you the Fairfield Open, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors, Volley and Corient. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors. Title sponsors FCWPTL, FCPTL, Diamond sponsor Voyage Group at Wells Fargo Advisors, Platinum sponsors M4 Paddle, Xenon Paddle, and Connecticut Dermatology Group, Facility sponsors Syndicate Distillery, Rolling Hills Lady Paddle, and Vital Stretch, and our gold sponsors Bluestone Psychiatry and Health, Cannondale Generators, Foster's Lawn and Garden Supplies, FX Air, Hutchinson Tree Service, New England Propane, Norwalk and Georgetown Orthodontics, Berkshire Brewing, Howard and Gay Insurance, Purple Frog Graphic, and Sly Bandit Brewing. I'm John Kilmer, along with Brad Easterbrook, bringing you the men's finals between Mark Powers and Guillermo Nunez against Enrique Padro Algas and Jose Salazar. Brad, welcome to the booth.
All right, thanks, John. We're looking forward to a great final here. We'll take a look at our players once we get them more out there. But so on our bottom of our screen here, actually we have Enrique to the left is Enrique Pardo de Andrade, and his partner Jose Salazar with the cap on and the blue pants. And at the top of your screen, Guillermo Nunez and Mark Powers up there chatting. It should be a great match. There's a ton of talent all over the court. Nunez and Powers won the Nationals last year, but at of this season, we got the umpire up here now.
All right, and Guillermo Nunez to serve, and we are underway for the finals.
All right, so Len Villamere in the chair.
Love 15.
Love 15, and quickly, yep, Guillermo Nunez starting our serve. That was Enrique Pardo de Andrade returning. They're in the ad court in the bottom of your screen. And, Powers and Nunez, just in terms of base, paddle ability, have been going to finals,
30.
going to semifinals, winning plenty of matches. Because their skill set is so good, it's hard not to, right? Yep. But they haven't been able to close it out. And at this point, they're great volleyers. They got everything they need. It's really just been finding that discipline and how they want to play. Last year, they came out to the scene. It was like a rocket ship, right? And they shot out there. And it was very unpredictable for anybody playing against them. And they're so talented that they just, steamrolled right through it. Now, this year, people know a little bit more what to expect, have game plans against it, or starting to think that way. So, it's been an interesting start to the season, but I think they're getting pumped up to the second half and starting to communicate on what they want to do. And there you can just see the talent right there. It's a great drive, and it's completely easily read there from Nunez, and he puts it away. They have attacking overheads on both sides. So there really isn't anything they can't do.
And I think to your point, there's just a little bit more tape on these guys now at this point in their kind of partnership, where I think a lot of these teams now know going into the match that there are going to be peaks and valleys against these guys. So they almost are able to weather the highlight reel of Nunez Powers a little bit better, knowing that they're going to have their opportunities at some point, and then if they can capitalize on that, all of a sudden you're looking at a 3-set match where it's anyone's ball game.
All right, so quick play to start here. A lot of looks, big screen drives. That's such a good slippery drive on that backhand there from Salazar. Outrageously quick, but he's not striking it hard. He's just dumping it down fast and low. It's a great shot.
Yeah, I was watching him warm up a couple minutes ago, and he's just been snapping his ground strokes with a really short backswing, almost Mark Powers-esque. Just gets on you in a hurry.
And Powers and Nunez really have had not a care so far in this draw. They've been winning matches 2-1, 3-1, 3. Really, really tight 3-setter in the last semifinal there for Salazar and Pardo de Andrade, where, you know, against Protsenko and West. So they've been more battle tested in terms of just tight. But wow, what a shot there to start that off.
Pardo Salazar, they lead 1-0 first set.
So Lam Villamur in the chair, and we have, like, clearly they're not afraid to hit backhands, John.
No.
You know, that, you know, Pardo de Andrade unloaded on a couple of screen ones there, and I think Salazar has hit at least 50% of the balls that have come his way, like actually driven them. So very, very quick first game there. Whoa. Whew. Okay. We can drive the ball too.
Right.
Says Guillermo Nunez as he thumps the ball. And there's just a great cutoff volley there from Salazar.
15 all.
And it's been a fairly windy day today in Connecticut, which means lobbing has been a little bit harder to kind of do responsibly and effectively, which is why we're probably seeing a few more drives early on in this match than we are maybe used to seeing.
30-15.
You can control that ball a little bit better in the wind with a drive, especially when you have the skill sets that all four of these guys have.
They're pressing hard right now, looking for drives and opportunities right off the bat. Salazar recognizing getting close to the net to start. We're not really seeing anybody set up any points with lobs yet. It's really just ball is in striking distance, we're striking. Now we're starting to see this is the first point I think we've had go this long. It's the longest point of the match.
30 all.
And this will definitely start to slow down a little bit as the players settle in a little bit. Great pressure there from Powers.
30-40.
He dips it, and Powers is right there, so he tries to make a deft touch volley. Can't come up with it.
And it's kind of hard to tell from this camera angle, but Pardo de Andrade is
Game
tall.
Nunez Powers.
He has
1-all first set.
Not only just a long wingspan to cover horizontally, but to go vertical like he kind of did in that last game. It's going to be hard to kind of have those
15 love.
high-quality lobs that push him off the baseline, off the service line. So it'll be interesting to see if that is a factor at all in this match.
Oh, great lob there. Salazar. Powers cutting it long and low. What a get.
What a tweener.
Look at that. Oh, that's incredible stuff right there. From the gets to the transition.
30 love.
Powers, a lot of people would back off there and let that ball go through the screen, but he's still ready to drive it with a quick backhand, and it actually catches Salazar by surprise. And the
30-15.
Fast and heavy. Huge forehand there from Salazar. If you airmailed the first one, finds the range there.
Now, if pace continues at this speed, we're seeing lots of drives, what team do you think that benefits?
40-15.
I mean, both teams seem to be perfectly competent doing it. I'd have to go with Nunez and Powers, just because the only way, like, I have to think it favors them more. Just because, actually, if there's, I don't know if there's a weakness, but the way that you generally, and the way they're getting beat isn't because people are outplaying them with pace,
No.
Powers and Nunez. It's that they're making them grind more, and they're getting them to actually just do too many spots, you know, too many things in the wrong spot and pressing the opportunities. I haven't seen anybody play them fast and, you know, just overrun them that way yet. All right, so there we go. Good hold
Nunez
from
Powers.
Powers.
They lead the first set 2-1.
Now, John, you played out there today. I mean, it's cold, but it's the manageable kind of cold, right?
It's a manageable. I thought the biggest impact that I felt today was the wind was gusting, so like you're almost aiming some of your lobs into the green, knowing that the wind is going to push them back into the court a certain way. It has died down, I'd say, past 3 p.m. today, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a factor. But the people outside who are sitting on those aluminum bleachers, they're going to be significantly colder than the 4 guys who are moving around on the court, that's for sure.
Jeez. And there you see that quick release that Powers
15
has.
love.
And he hit that one about 150 miles an hour, but he also, from the same exact setup, will spin it up into your body.
Yeah.
And it's what makes his forehand so good. He just one-times it, and then he rolls it like that one right there.
He does.
He just rolled that, and he does it from the same setup. And the one before, he hit Enrique Pardo de Andrade right in the body. So,
and something that Powers does that's a little unique is he'll also hit the occasional topspin lob. Not as anything that he does on a consistent basis, but it's just one more shot that he can have from that exact same setup that keeps you honest.
That's a great slap drive there. A little hard. I think it hit him. I'm not sure what happened there. See what
15
the score
all.
is. All right, that goes to Nunez Powers. Salazar, you know, has played more paddle than anyone on the tour, I think, you know, other than Graham McNerney in the last year. You know, he might be the only one who's actually comparable, but he's doing it sort of a little bit like Graham McNerney did, playing with any partner he can play with, learning his different styles, just completing his skill set, which is already extremely vast, right? Understanding
40,
the game
15.
and the nuances of where to go. So it's great to see, you know, he's Regalado, Salazar, at this point, you'd have to consider them favorites. You know,
yeah.
A little blip against Broderick and Christian, which will be fascinating to see if that changes the way people think about playing them or other things as they go in there and down the road. But, yeah, it's just been absolutely lights out this year, Regalado, Salazar. And he's continuing to just keep learning and expanding his skill set. Oh, man. Look at those volleys from Powers. And there's the biggest thing, too. Like, one of the things, Nunez and Powers are both ball-dominant type players. Nunez wants the ball. He's always pressing for the ball. And one of the things that, hopefully that's a tough one there. He's fading away. One of the things
40,
that they
30.
definitely need to do better in their matches going forward is knowing who's driving what ball based on where the lob's coming from. Not, we can both move to the middle so we can both hit it, right? And that's going to be one of the keys to them getting back onto that national championship, because certainly, you know, that's just a great little waterfall there.
Game
Certainly
Pardo,
they'd be in that
Salazar.
conversation.
2-all first set.
And it's never an issue when you're winning matches, right? So typically they get to the finals, like you said earlier, pretty straightforward path, not dropping sets. All of a sudden, though, when things get a little bit tight and you're both going for balls, and maybe you have a different strategy for what you think you should be doing as you're both going for it.
Oh!
That's a nice let court there.
Yep, we'll take it.
15
But
love.
that is almost where I've seen the most amount of hiccups with Nunez Powers this season. I think I remember when, I forget what tournament, but they were playing against Humphreys Osis Koenig in the final. And you could just kind of see they were on
15
different
all.
pages for what speed they should be hitting those overheads at. And when they were both fighting for the ball, that can make it a little tough.
Just a little long. You know,
30-15.
You know, he's still relatively new. See if they haven't really tried to attack him yet. His skill set is, did that go long?
40-15.
Yeah, just out. Is obviously extreme. So he's an excellent rackets player. We haven't seen them attack him in the screens with any spin at this
Game
point.
Nunez Powers.
Strangely enough, it's so much attacking
They
play
lead
they're not even allowing it. You know,
3 games
nothing's
to 2
happening.
in the first set.
All right, so it's time to talk about one of our great sponsors, Volley. And did you know that Volley has thrown 5 million balls to players working on their game, John? Don't get left behind. Get your reps in with Volley. Whether it's day or night, you're in control of your training. Volley offers world-class training on demand, helping you sharpen your skills and level up your game whenever it fits your schedule. Ready to join the movement? Start training smarter today with Volley. All right, so play is so fast, they wouldn't even let me get that read in.
No.
15 love.
They're right back at it. Power's aggressive up positioning and just hammers that. What a volley there from Salazar.
30 love.
And I thought you brought up a good point too about Pardo de Andrade being maybe the newer of the 4 guys on this court, but we're not seeing any sort of effort from Nunez Powers to force the issue and go to him and almost give him a welcome to the show type moment that I think is pretty applicable to club players. Is that sometimes the best thing that you can do in a match that's a big match for you guys is go out there and play your game and hit the shots that you normally would, regardless if you are familiar or not with the opponent.
40
Don't try
love.
to force something just for the sake of novelty.
Yeah, that was a tough read there. High risk move there, and that time Salazar got him.
40-15. Okay.
Was a let? I'm not sure what happened. I think he asked. I'm not sure what happened there.
I think if I heard correctly, Mark wasn't ready for the serve in the first spot.
Now, you mentioned before that Pardo de Andrade, he's
40-15.
a big guy. He's like 6'5", 6'6", right? And they've gone at him 5 or 6 times in the exchange.
Yeah.
He's a bigger target. It's going to be something that big guys sometimes, if you are a big
40,
guy, you play
30.
paddle, you have to learn how to make yourself small, like get down, more athletic stance, paddle more in front of your body. It's not so simple, you know, and it's one of the things you want to be able to do, though, when you're out there, because bigger target, you'll get hit by balls that are even going out.
Going out.
I tell some of my guys that stand up tall, you know, and they're standing right there, and I hit it right up into their chest. You got to get yourself down into a position. You also hit more higher balls. So for club players, I'm sure Pardo de Andrade knows that, you know, but for club players, it's a really good lesson to learn.
That overhead there from Pardo de Andrade is, I think is going to be pretty high risk, high reward down up to the Nunez backhand. There's only so many times you can go there before he's going to jump that ball.
Yeah, he will definitely jump the route, move up and get it. Pardo's counting on his, you know, at 6'6", he has a better opportunity than most people.
He does.
No, because he's going to be hitting the ball down at a sharper angle, which is the whole key to it, right, more than anything else. And they get him with the waterfall. They've gotten him a few times
Game Pardo
today.
Salazar. 3-all, first set.
All right, so it's kind of more like where the hiccup is. We've had initially 2 breaks right off the bat, and then just good, solid net play. There is no grinding of points. It's more balls off the screen, and you think colder weather, oh, the ball's not coming off that much. These guys are placing it in there. Nobody's hitting like that soft overhead that's like designed for position. They're attacking, and then they're attacking back.
15 love.
Both teams at this point, 3-all, are very satisfied with how this is going. Uniquely, though, the more you drive, see, that point got set up because they got Pardo de Andrade with a spin overhead. When you drive more and lob less, they hit less overhead.
They hit less overhead.
So you can't get carved up if you're banging it, right?
Correct.
You know, so it is something you can do if somebody is dominating. Now, you have to be careful with it because it becomes a high, you know, if you start just driving and missing balls, that doesn't help you. But it stops the overhead carve up, you know, when you get put in the washing machine and the guys just like get beaten up over there. Oh, look at those exchanges. Great hands.
30-15.
Almost feels like all 4 of these guys played some tennis over the holiday break, and they're bringing it out to the courts.
Well, there's no question these guys played enough tennis whether they played it over the holiday break or not, probably doesn't matter. You know, these guys are all exceptional rackets players with their own, you know, great pass. Powers, #1 at Yale, was a top 10 junior, 15 junior in the country. Just played at TCU, I believe. sure where Salazar played his college tennis.
I think
or
Salazar
Pardo de
played
Andrade.
at Arkansas, if I remember correctly.
Gonna get hit, yep. Oh, just read that one perfectly.
30 all.
Powers just thought he was going to give him a little carve into the side screen. He doesn't let it get there. He cuts it off and rips it. So smart and beautiful pace. See, and there's a type of confusion stuff that they're not fully on board with it. He wasn't sure he was cutting in there to take that, and he went all in for a 1-0. I think Powers was playing more his position.
Yeah.
It's a little different. They got to work out those little details. You know, is a guy playing here? Is he going to come in? Are we going to a floating type eye and I'm going to back off? It's a great little hook drive. I thought he was going cutter there, but doesn't. Right off the court. I'd like to see him swing that longer and lower into Pardo de Andrade. Wow, that's a great lob. He missed it wide.
30-40.
All right, break point.
And oftentimes that lefty cut is even more effective when you're going into that ad player rather
across
than
the grain.
deuce.
Yep. Yeah, the biggest thing I think I've noticed just in the overhead a little bit from Nunez this year, he's extremely effective overhead. He's got to just get it a little longer, a little lower, a little longer through the court. It was so devastating in nationals last year. And I think people are, they're more ready for it and waiting on it. But also, I just think it's not quite the same, right? You know, it's not the same quite a bite. It's not as long as through the court. That's a great lob. He just puts himself right out of trouble. Yeah, I'm pushing him behind the service line. It's just paddle 101. Oh. All right.
Deuce.
Break point. He's hit about 15 of those backhands. Doesn't make that one, though.
Oh, almost a great get in transition to that corner there.
Advantage Powers.
Yeah, off a great transition shot from Nunez. Yeah, Nunez uniquely, he probably hits only at this stage. He's got a full semi-western forehand, but he hits maybe 20% of his forehands. You know, most of the time he's using a continental off the screen drive or even a continental off the deck.
And taking it really early inside the court.
Yeah, he's primarily looking to drive the ball low and blitz. So it's not really that he's looking to like hit the thunder drive and then that's the winner, but it's actually usually the forward move behind it. And I think that's why he's designed it. I wouldn't mind seeing him take out the other one a little bit more. Just, I think if Powers and Nunez get it down where they know what ball they're looking for, I don't see very many places you can hit the ball against them.
No. And it is surprising now that the point has slowed down a little bit that they haven't tested Enrique over in that ad corner a little bit more. Obviously, we stated earlier, right, they weren't in a rush to do so, but play was a little bit faster in those first 6 games of the match.
Yeah, it's slowing down a little bit. He's going for some payback. Ah! Get the waterfall. He does get the short overhead that I think he was carving across the court into Pardo de Andrade, but can't come up with it. Window on those shots is very small, so you're going to miss a few. It's the right ball for it. See, again, I don't think Powers knew he was getting that overhead.
No, it looked like he was already switching back over to
That's right. He was moving to his left. He didn't know, and then Nunez is actually closing in to look for a volley. Subtle little moments. good backhand. I'm not sure Pardo de Andrade, his backhand may be better than his forehand. I have not seen him really play that much yet.
No, but he's definitely doing a great job of stepping inside the court and taking that down up with that backhand. You're starting to see it at this level. It's
That's
almost
a dangerous
table
drive
stakes.
there. Tell you what, though, this is the racket work and the skills out here off the charts. See, there's the confusion at the net again. They're not sure who's playing what
Game
side of the
Pardo,
court.
Salazar. They lead
And
4-3 in the first set.
And watching the two teammates walk separate ways after that moment maybe isn't the best visual for them either.
Yeah, it's just going to come down to those little things. You know, working out those zones. The physical talents, shot making, it's all there.
And they're still a relatively new partnership. I always thought the hardest part about playing with someone new was really in those pressure moments, who's going to kind of take charge and say, hey, this is what we are going to do. And on these 50-50 balls, let's have you take them, or let's have me take them. Where longer stage partnerships, you know who's going to have that conversation. It's a lot easier to have that as well.
Yeah, and in some cases, in this case, like in that case there, it was even harder to say, well, on this 50-50 ball, I'll take it. It's a question of where they're going to be at the net and how they're playing these points. And Nunez and Powers isn't sure when he's supposed to go, and Nunez is looking to cut off a lot of volleys. So I think Nunez is looking for some coverage, and Powers is looking for position, right? So they might have to just figure out what part of that's going to work for them. That's a great look. That's a good little waterfall. He's going to it, right back at it. That's perfect setup. He pushes it off the left shoulder of Pardo de Andrade.
Love 30.
Pushes him back, gets him off the net, and then rips it. That's why he makes him stretch for it. So that's like paddle 101, perfect play. Oh, bad luck there for Nunez.
15-30.
Another really good transition dig back there.
15-40.
I hear let's go Powers from the crowd. You can definitely tell it's chilly out there, and this crowd is now having some barbecues, some pizza. Again, great job they've done here at Rolling Hills Country Club in the Fairfield Open. It's back, baby. It used to be one of the staples on the tour. It was a great tournament back in the day. It took a hiatus for years, mostly because it takes a lot to run these tournaments, and it takes the willingness and desire. And right now, you got a bunch of people who are just getting on board with doing that. And
30-40.
amazing job by Macy Elliott and her whole committee.
Especially as these events have only gotten bigger. They're now 2 days events, and now we're adding the challenger draw. So if you're not in the tour event, there's a second draw, and all of a sudden you're co-running 4 tournaments.
Oh, wow. Great combination of balls there.
Game Nunez Powers.
He hits the
all
roller
first
heavy,
set.
but it goes off the back screen and hangs out. That ball's got to move into the side, and that sets up the whole thing. Again, quick play generally. It's really set up and hit. There's no, oh, we're dumping the ball here, placing the ball in this spot.
You know, every time that there's been an opportunity for shot making, it has been taken by all 4 of these guys.
That's a tough one. The
15
fadeaway, back up, backhand. You know, and I do believe there is a level of this too with Salazar, and you know, we'll have in Drew Broderick in a little bit too. You know, when you play a ton of different partners, sometimes you experiment on the things you want to do and can't do depending. You know, like I don't think he plays that shot when he's playing with Regalado.
No.
They play a disciplined style. They're going to play it a certain type of way. Here he's out here. Yeah, he wants to win. He's in the finals. He's battling. He's a battler and he's a competitive guy. But he's also expanding his skill set. You know what I mean? Finding the shots he can make in different moments. That's just a great try, but too good.
15 all.
That's going to be a tough one. Yeah. A little confusion from the get-go on that. You didn't hear anybody go, mine, yours.
You could see it move
and
a little
both
more
of
off
them,
the deck, too.
That was well hit overhead. It was a great shot. That ball's long.
Yeah. Out. Yeah.
Took a second for the umpire to figure out if you wanted that ball out or in. Looked long from our vantage point. Yeah, it's a tough setup. The range and the reach of Salazar and Pardo de Andrade, he is really looking to cut off those backhands. I really think that's his #1 look. But you go into his forehand, he'll lob it, but lurking is actually Salazar, right?
Backhand,
and to take that middle, for that middle quick backhand, that's just a beauty. And I think as this goes on, we're going to see that
40, 30.
played out more. They're going to start testing that more, the attacking overhead into the ad court.
And then to your point, if you're feeling Salazar start to creep towards that middle looking for the backhand, that's that opportunity to maybe push it back into the corner and induce some movement.
Oh, wow, so quick. What a beauty. Pardo de Andrade using his length to slam down that ball into the side screen. Those are good lobs there from Nunez. Powers, quick move, gets it. Up 5-4.
Nunez Powers. They lead 5-4 first set.
Something that I always like when there's new players that are on the live stream, kind of like Pardo de Andrade is right now, is you see just how many different ways there are to play this game well. His roller is definitely a little bit of a bigger stroke, more loopy than some of the other guys that we've seen in the past, and it's still equally effective to all 4 of these guys. And I think at the club level, a lot of times people get obsessed with hitting, let's say, a forehand with a snap release like Mark Powers. It's like, well, I'm sorry to tell you, you weren't a top 15 junior who played 4 years at Yale. That might not be in the cards, but there is a way for you to hit successful, effective forehands if you find out what works best for you, rather than just kind of plug and play with what you're seeing on the screen. So I always love seeing guys have slightly different type of looking swings on shots that are still equally effective.
15 all.
Yeah, well, what you're saying, and it's a great point, John, is that there are many ways to build your game even.
Yeah.
You don't have to have Mark Powers' forehand to be a top player in the game. But if you were to hit a forehand, though, you probably want to model it after something like that because it is one of the better forehands in the game. But that said, it doesn't mean you can't compete. You just have to understand where you're competing
30.
and how you're competing, right? And what you're doing, how you're going to win and lose these points, right? Tough serve, good challenging serve
30
there.
all.
That's what he's looking for. Just caught it a little late. Oh! That was a big
40,
couple of
30.
moments there. Two good forehand looks at 15-30 for Powers and Nunez, and they don't connect on either one. Turn right around in 2 seconds though. Stick this one, and there it is.
There it is.
Right. You know,
Deuce.
hitters hit. Oh, that's tough. There's that topspin lob you were talking about. He'll hold it. Same position. He wants you to bite for the volley and move in, and then he sort of hits that quick one up there. Worked well. Sneaky move, unlucky drop, get stretched
Advantage
there.
Salazar.
Wow, they'll take it. What a big moment for that. Would have put him set point down. Nah, tough one. Yeah, live by the sword, die by the sword.
Pardo Salazar. 5 all first set. $15 love.
Oh.
30 love.
Would have been a fun opportunity for a little around the post action there for Mark Powers, had that have dribbled in.
Switch at the net quickly for Powers Nunez.
And I like it that time. I don't think I've heard Mark Powers verbally call the switch too often this match. I think he's just kind of moved assuming. But after a couple mix-ups, we see him kind of take control over it, call the switch pre-contact of the
40
ball.
love.
Allows Nunez to slide over, to get into position, and they're up 40 love to be knocking on the door for a 6-5 lead in the first set.
Oh,
Woo!
just rips that forehand.
40-15.
It's a good ball to do that on. They're not backing off the net a little, so take it right at him heavy and hard. He frames him, which just means he puts the ball right in his body frame. And just a great shot. There from Pardo de Andrade, and that ball is wide.
Game Nunez Powers.
So Nunez Powers just didn't
They
connect
lead
on those
6
drives
games
at
to
the
5 in the
5-4
first
game.
set.
Looked like they had opportunities but couldn't quite get them. See here if Pardo de Andrade can hold. Or actually, is it? Yeah, it is Pardo de Andrade, certainly, yes.
Wow. Behind
that-
the service line, moving
15
backwards.
Yeah, that's
overhead
the
winner.
6-6.
You can't teach height.
You can't teach height, and he just basically hit a ridiculous shot that neither of those guys expected was able to come from that position. It was a really good lob, actually. So kudos to him. Great shot. Here it comes again. Same basic ball.
They were ready for it that time.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a typical ball you would think to move up on, which he did last time. Right? And he got burned. Yeah, this might be one of the longer points of the match. And it is amazing, though, how many times you see teams go fast, and then when it gets to the business end of something, it slows down a little, it gets more measured, a little more controlled. You want to take the right exact ball. And I'm not sure that was the one, but good placement on that overhead there. 30 love now. Oh, slippery. That was really good. He had him completely leaning.
30,
he held
15.
that for a long time, felt Salazar slide a little bit to the middle, hit it right behind him for a great forehand. That is something that I've been surprised about by all four of these guys, is they have stayed walled up on that net regardless of where their opponents have been hitting ground strokes from. There have been a few forehands from inside the service line from Mark Powers so far tonight that these guys have just stayed at the net for.
40-30.
Really good opportunity there. Again, to get a set point, they just can't quite execute. Point for a first set breaker.
Really good lobs at this point from Nunez and Powers, consistently making them hit overheads from behind the service line. Just looking for that one short overhead to pounce on and try to make them volley from their feet.
Ooh. Is using a little flurry of kind of like these soft balls, and that ball is long.
Game Pardo Salazar.
And
6-all.
Nunez Powers have been knocking at the door
Tiebreaker.
of possibilities, right? You know, they just have not come up with it. If they lose the set, it's going to feel like they should have won it, right? Although it's, you know, they actually haven't even had a set point, right? But they've had opportunities to get to that point, much more so than Salazar. It's a unique thing for them. It's not something we all haven't been there, right? It's a crucial moment to me. For them. That was a really good carve right there. He goes long through the court. And again, it's the setup. It looks like he might hit it short.
It does. He does a
One
phenomenal
love,
job of
Nunez. Powers.
really turning those shoulders so that, to your point, he's almost hiding. Is he going to come underneath that ball, or is he really going to carve it low and deep against the grain into the deuce corner?
Oh, he has him back. Close.
That was a pretty good coverage there by Pardo de Andrade. He hadn't even started moving until Salazar shouted at him to go. Still made the shot.
Stick there from Powers. Pace just a little much for
2-1
Salazar.
Powers.
Such a different game. I never called a mini break. Oh my goodness, right back at you.
2-all.
He was trying to hit a drop volley though off of that tough, heavy ball. So close to the net. Just couldn't come up with it. 2-2. Wow. What a spot there from Pardo de Andrade. That's just two really strong points there. A couple of great returns.
3-2, Pardo Salazar.
Points turning quickly. Ahora vamos, Guillermo. That, of course, is Nunez. So a lot of guys call him Guille, nickname.
4-2.
And for me, you can kind of, if you want to question that choice, you can. What is maybe most surprising to me is the level of frustration that he shows when he misses that. Where we've said it a couple times a set, you live by the drive, you die by the drive. And I think in these big moments, if you're going to be willing to hit, say, questionable choices when you swing it, you have to be okay with those misses as well. Otherwise, it becomes a mental battle in a hurry if you're taking risky choices
5-2, Pardo Salazar.
and holding yourself to a super high expectation of making it.
All right, 5-2. Little distance. They've got some separation. Just focus, some discipline, see if they can close this out. Oh, what a volley there from Nunez. Oh! That hit the seam? Because it wasn't a heavy spin ball. So surprising to see that.
5.
All right, 3-5. Great shot there from Powers. They just get two haymakers easily volleyed by both players. Right. Okay. That's what positioning does for you. I'll tell you. Andrade's got the forehand too.
And he's swinging with absolute total conviction.
Powers closes in. Job of defending here from Salazar and Pardo de Andrade. So hanging around these points.
And I really like the variety of overheads right now that Nunez and Powers have been hitting. I think sometimes they almost fall into a trap of just going for cut overhead after cut overhead. And right now they're adding some waterfalls, some nice pushes. I think that one is a little bit more sustainable over the course of longer points. It just adds a little bit more variety.
Yeah, but they're being super disciplined. Those guys are taking a couple of drives. They're not trying to, they're just trying to defend, get it back to neutral until they get their opportunity again. So it's big point here. 5-4. Nunez Powers pull off both points there, being down 5-2.
5-4, Salazar.
Oh, yeah.
6-4, Salazar.
That's a great pickup there from Salazar. Terrific hands. Good touch and accuracy. They're coming after him, John.
They are. They've done a remarkably good job of making these volleys look routine.
I mean, they just hit haymaker after haymaker there. I mean, it was good defense up there.
Power serving 5-6.
They took risk, Powers and Nunez. They didn't not go for those. Were big shots. Each one had a modicum of risk to it. That time he's got him. Earlier on, it was Salazar who won that battle.
It was.
This time he crossed it off, and he's right on top of the net. Angles his paddle down for a winning volley. Ties it up.
And again, I just look to that point being a microcosm of the adjustments that Powers and Nunez have been willing to make in this set alone. On that overhead, Powers made sure to call a switch so that Nunez was right where he needed to be to stuff that volley, where I believe it was a 4-all game. He didn't call that switch. Nunez got a little confused, and that same drive was hit for a winner instead of a volley winner from Nunez and Powers. It's a really good job from both of them making those mid-set adjustments. Came at a very opportune time to get this back to 6-all.
Wow. Great hands. Good fake there from Pardo de Andrade, but he pushes it long, tries to make it too good. And it's the first set point now for either team.
Pardo serving
No, 6-4,
6-7.
sorry, for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. They had a couple in this one, but first set point for Nunez Powers. All right. Wow, what a serve.
Wow, great waterfall.
7-all.
Yeah, it started with a serve, which got him off balance, a weak lob, and then a perfectly placed waterfall. Wow, good challenging serve. One of the few balls that Powers has been able to hit a forehand on. Got out of the way nicely, though, played it. Ooh. Oh! And he was just trying to tag him with that. He was going hard, body. I get it.
7-8 Nunez.
Selfishly, I wish his forehand went in so we could have seen if Pardo de Andrade would have been able to make that volley.
Oh, I think it was right at him. I think he had 0% chance of making
that.
I think that was right into his body. All right, so set point now, number 3 here for Pardo de Andrade and Salazar. That's the cutter I want to see more of. Great job there from Pardo de Andrade to get that one back. Great dig. Oh.
Not only an amazing backhand, but he bounced off that cage like he was a WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
Right back into position.
That is, he might be able to, his skill set would extend to that, I think.
As long as he has a good
could see
stage
him.
name.
Going. Strikes with the tremendous volleys. Power speeds it up. Sticks it. Wow. What a volley. Heck of a point here, John.
That was a very casual transition play from Nunez. Down set point, hits it smooth and confident as can be, takes control of the net. We're back to neutral.
These volleys.
Although neutral in this match has been getting ready to absorb haymakers.
Powers goes to the door, calls it out early enough though. Wow. Oh! Wow, what a point here. The volleying has been off the charts. Oh, confusion. They got it though. How about that point? I mean, they hit 15, 20 strikes in there. The volleying was off the charts.
So long Nunez got confused what the score was.
You're serving, Nunez. Guillermo.
Oh my God, eight. Third set point save for Nunez Powers. Only took 15 amazing volleys, which actually looked easy.
They
It looked like they were easy, right?
That's the hardest part about watching the live stream versus being here in person, is those balls are going unbelievably fast.
Well, there's two things that you can take from
Salazar
that.
serving.
Two is positioning,
8
and
to
also
9.
just the economy with which they're doing it. Both these players actually have the ability to flip to the forehand.
Yeah.
Powers is very good at it, and a lot of top players do. But the way they do it, it's not like it takes it back. It's just the hand goes straight across and over. It's not an easy skill, and that is the first set. And imagine that's the way it ends when you saw all that great stuff.
It is, and we will be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by ProFlag.
Welcome to the Cutter Challenge, brought to you by Volley.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Yeah, there must be. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We are here at the Fairfield Open in Wilton, Connecticut with this men's final between Nunez Powers and Pardo de Andrade and Jose Salazar. If you are tuning in, you just missed one set of shot making after shot making after shot making.
Love
which led
15.
to a Nunez Powers winning that first set in a tiebreak 11-9. I am expecting to see nothing less than more shot making in the second set. And in the booth is Brad Easterbrook and four-time national champion Drew Broderick popping in for the second.
Hey guys, nice to be here. What an amazing finish to that first set. So fun to watch.
Yeah, it's funny, we talk about things, you know, before I had said I had thought that more of the opportunities were on the Nunez Powers rackets, paddles, you know, in that first set. They just couldn't quite convert them. But then when you get up 5-2 and 6-4 in that tiebreaker, clearly it had shifted, right? But I think for all these guys, you know, we were talking about what the prevailing strategy, and the prevailing strategy is bring it. Bring your A game, bring your best game. Who volleys better, who drives better.
Yeah, and something that all four of these players just showed you is when they're anticipating a big drive coming, their volleys are amazing. So it kind of plays into the, you know, earlier in the women's final, one something that Macy Elliott does very well is she sleeps on a couple of shots that she can drive, and then all of a sudden she pounces on it. These guys are all bringing it, and you're seeing spectacular volleys.
Yeah, shoelace
15-30.
volleys, great transition, and they're bringing it to a level where the transition's happening fast, meaning you're not even having the opportunity to get back in. You know, the drive's coming back, it's going to transition back again, and that time we did get it changed, but good leave there from Pardo de Andrade.
30 all.
But the entertainment level and the shot making is off the charts. A little extreme there for Powers.
40,
He hurt his hand
30.
on the sidewire. Wondered around the door. Nunez asking him if he's okay.
These first couple games are huge for actually both teams in different ways. I think Nunez Powers is kind of playing with house money because they were down in that first set. And
Well, they're down in the breaker.
They were down in the breaker.
Right.
They probably at some point felt, maybe we have to come back and regroup. They sneak it out. They could come out a little extra aggressive in these first couple games, feeling like they got away with it a little bit. But at the same time, they're shot makers. They might come out and say, one set to love lead. I'll take a swing at it. And sometimes when you're comfortable, you make shots even more.
Yeah, and you make a great point. But the other point about this, too, is I think these guys are also making their shots. We haven't seen this spot where there have been crucial moments where people have missed it, but they're making their shots in crucial moments, too. If we see somebody, like, dial in 3 or 4 errors, we might see it slow down again, right, and then build itself back up. But in no way do I think this thing stays slow for any period of time other than, okay, let me regroup. I just missed 4 drives. All right, let me settle it back down. Then they're just going to get back to hitting because hitters
Advantage
hit.
Salazar.
And these guys are hitters.
Absolutely. Great defensive cover right there by Salazar, which draws Nunez to try to go for that one extra cut shot.
Game Pardo Salazar. They lead 1-0 in the second set. Nunez Powers won the first set 7-6.
So if you asked me before this game, Brad, I was going to tell you Enrique and Jose go up 3-0 in this second set.
All right.
So you got to trust me on that one.
I'm going to trust you.
Change ball.
And we'll hold you
New
to
ball.
task if it doesn't happen.
Well, we could bet $1. I'm still up $1 on you,
I don't
right?
believe you are because you lost it to Patty.
Right.
And that was it. And it came back.
Oh, got it.
She bought it for me. So, nice try.
She's a good
You gonna
friend,
build your
Patty.
fund?
She's a good friend.
Yes, she is. She was helping me out. Yeah, I mean, I could easily see how that could work, because they're playing with, like you said, some house money, and they might go for more than they should in these moments. Good hold there. Powers to start. Powers has had good success holding. This is that one, and there's you say, he's going to turnaround driving.
Love
Instead of
15.
just shoving it through the middle, he goes for the wide ball. Maybe that's the house money shot, right?
Yeah, and one thing I will say with Salazar, and I watch a lot of, when I'm not playing, I'm watching a lot of the live stream matches. He does not get enough credit for playing the percentages. He's got a massive forehand, but he's got very solid defense. He bails at the right time. He closes at the right time. Numbers are always on his
15
side,
all.
which is why he and Alvi Regalado have won so many tournaments and matches in the last 2 years. They're playing the numbers, and when it's in their favor, you see them put their foot on the gas, and when it's not, they sit back and just ease up on points. And I don't think Salazar gets enough credit for playing that
Nunez
style.
or Salazar? You're talking
Salazar.
about Salazar.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, no, without a doubt. They've been the most disciplined team in the country. Salazar and Regalado. And you were able to turn that against them, actually, in the match you played, through place with the lobs and other things, and positioning you used against them a little bit, too. So every team has a spot that you can get them, right? But overall, what's been happening when Salazar and Regalado go out there is people press against them, right? They feel like we got to do a little bit more to beat them. And then you start trying to hit a drive that they don't normally hit, and they hit it extra, and then they miss it, right? And it's just a different, and they've achieved that through their disciplined play. Such soft hands there. That's the one I want to see more of. That one right there. And that one was long and deep. You got to watch where it lands through the court. If he lets that go, that thing's going to go straight up the wire, hard and fast. Tough play. Such a good overhead. And there's the bail. Good bail there from Nunez. That is a rare bail. Nunez is about a 10% bailer. You know, he's on the net. He invites it at all times. Probably shocked Pardo de Andrade. Why is he in there? Right, I missed the ball.
Didn't cause him to swing any softer, though.
Great shot there.
There's the backhand you were talking about that he's been just sitting
40-30.
He's looking for that. I mean, he can hit the forehand too. I still think it's a slightly better shot, but, you know, geez, look at that thing right there. That is just two monster backhands in a 10-second span.
And it's tough for the lefty. Nunez trying to cut across on the righty backhand on that side. Forces you to kind of flip.
Yeah. And just the act of moving across, there's a measure of risk to it, meaning you're looking for a ball in a certain spot. If they don't hit it right there, you got a little reach to you. He does an amazing job, Nunez, of keeping his paddle in front. That was sick.
Advantage Powers.
Yeah, casually dropping the ball at his shoulder, going Mach 9 for a drop winner. Well
yeah,
done.
but he was exactly looking for that. You know, so it's the one thing he's waiting for. And in that particular case, Pardo de Andrade just fell right into it.
Yeah, and you see the point before we're talking about he's kind of poaching. There's the backhand. He gets caught. He misses the shot. But you're not going to make all the shots, right?
No.
And he stays with what he's great at. And sure enough, he gets the the touch drop volley, which is insane. Don't try that at home.
Try the drop. Try the touch drop volley. In fact, if I'm my club players, let's work on some drop volleys because you could get tons and tons of winners with it. All the club players, you guys try that at home. You got to work your drops.
We'll just recommend doing it off of off-pace drives.
Fine. Correct.
That'll be the caveat from the booth that we give today.
But going back to your point about playing percentages and things, you know, I don't know if everybody's listened to the Roger Federer speech he gave, like he gave a commencement speech. You know, my career, I won 54% of the points, you know, and I was considered one of the best. And that's the whole idea. The percentages they're not massive. You don't have to win 9 out of 10. You play a percentage that gives you a slight advantage and it wins. There was another stat too, like when from 2013, Federer won like 54% of his points. But, and then the year after he won, maybe it was like 53% of his points, but he made $6 million less. That 1 percentage point was that much more of prize money and losses, right? So it does come down to these margins and understanding them and how you build your game to win these points and these
Advantage
margins.
Powers.
That's all it is. And it goes back to what you were saying a little in the beginning, John, when you were saying you don't have to have Powers forehand. You know, I mean, it'd be great if you had it.
It'd be great.
Nobody would say I wouldn't take it, right? You know, but point is you can build it other ways and you could find your percentages in other ways. And you could be mentally, you could be physically, you know.
Or even if that just means being more selective and you
Correct.
have a bigger stroke, so that ball has to bounce at the service line instead of the baseline. But understand how your game is and build around that.
Good lob right there. Stick. Yeah, smart move from Nunez staying back. He's got a good look at it. Just convert. All right.
And when we're talking about playing the percentages like Drew was saying and just how good of a job Salazar does, one of my favorite things to do when I'm watching a paddle match like this is spend a point or two only watching one player, like in this case Salazar. And then when you're watching the ball, it's easy to think these guys are just always magically in the right position, but it's fundamentally because they are anticipating and putting themselves where they need to be before they have to be.
Oh, that's a smart lob there. Oh. Wow, what a point. And I actually think that point was really well played. He just missed the
Advantage
last
Powers.
lob. I thought that lob he played in the middle from Salazar was incredibly useful. Came up with a great volley from Powers.
Yeah, that's a fun point right there.
Yeah, it's all fun, and these guys are all being put in a position to opportunistically show their amazing skill sets, right? You know, and it's just the best to watch. So for anyone out here, this is going to be one of the most entertaining matches of the year. I think he was so far out of position. He's like, if I lob it, I'm screwed. If I drive it.
1-all, second
So
set.
he just went for it there. That was a tough one.
And what I think is unique about this match is we're about 90 minutes into all 4 of these guys continually being shot makers. And so much about shot making in all of racket sports is about your willingness and ability to move your feet. And when you see the 2 guys across the net from you moving their feet at the baseline, you're going to do the same. And that has resulted in just phenomenal shot making from all 4 of these guys.
If you saw me not moving my feet, John, it's because I'm tired.
Love 15.
And I've gotten significantly older, John. Yeah.
Brad,
I'm throwing up a high lob for time.
For time.
For time.
Brad, I've seen you not move your feet in the first round of a tournament, though. What
Correct.
do you mean?
Because I
Or you
got to
saving
manage. I
energy.
manage myself.
Now
Right.
he's also saving
It's very
time.
different.
$15 all. $15-30.
Let's see if Powers rocks this one here. Yep.
If it's in his wheelhouse, he rocks it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty much it.
15-40.
Brad, do you hear what I hear? John, do you hear that in the background?
Tunes.
I hear a party.
Some great tunes.
Hear a little Tom Petty coming from
There
the
you go.
tent. I think that it's not the wind anymore. The tent is just shaking from
All
everyone
the
dancing,
activity.
rocking and rolling.
Right. And that's
Hey, listen, Rolling Hills is rolling over there.
I tell you what, it's a great band they got. And the atmosphere is perfect. That is a perfect overhead. Well dug. Just beautiful from Pardo de Andrade. He sets his paddle down underneath it, makes it flat to the ground, and nice that ball up.
So if you are watching at home and you saw the whole set of bleachers over there full the last match in the women's final, people didn't go home. The music you hear, the tent is packed.
Let's just call it what it is, Drew. It's the party tent.
Well, they're also celebrating with Macy in there. And
Yep, Director
there's
of
the,
Racket Sports here at the Rolling Hills Club just took home the first prize Fairfield Open. So you're absolutely right. They are indeed.
I think I saw Patty Hogan doing ice luge shots in the tent.
That's impressive and not surprising. And measuring this point here, 2 break points. That's getting hit. Great shot from Pardo de Andrade. Oh! Not sure if he tried to make
30,
that
40.
perfect. But here we go. It's been a tricky serve here for Salazar into the Powers forehand. He's got him a couple of times with a couple of challenging ones, but Powers moves out on that one. He saw it coming. He wasn't actually, he moved out before the serve came. So that zone. That was in. Right there. That's a great combo. Well played on the crease there. Now, Drew, in a match, how many times do you call for help in a match, do you think?
Going back just to watch the stream, because when I'm in the moment, I have no clue, but I've counted as many as 12 in 1 point.
Right. See, that's one of the amazing things for people at home to understand how many times a top player understands exactly if it's going to the side screen or if it's going to the back screen. And if they're not 100% sure, they call for help. And they start to play it as if it's going to be a help type of play. What a point.
Yeah,
Deuce.
Uncharacteristic mistake right there. He kind of committed to a drive. He thought the ball was going to come out further, and it didn't, but he still went after it, and that's what he's thinking right now. He just shouldn't have pulled the trigger.
Yeah. When you're in the moment, it's a tough one to pull. That's the big difference. These guys are battling here.
Now, when you guys are playing tournaments, do you like or dislike hearing music like this in the background?
I love it, but these things are good for me. Like, I like moments that keep me looser
Advantage,
versus
Pardo.
moments that get me more uptight. You know, so, but that's individual.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. It's a lot easier to kind of mentally recover from maybe a questionable choice. You have Taylor Swift in the background. You're like, okay, this is just a game. Let's get back to it.
Deuce.
All right. So, it's not Taylor Swift, just so we're clear. That is
Not yet. I'm sure it'll be
KT
next.
Tunstall. There you go.
Wow.
We're going to play this game.
Advantage, Pardo.
You're going to win this game.
This one I probably got. This is the only area I compete in right now. Name that tune.
Yep. And I don't even think John was born yet when that show was on. Name that tune.
It's highly unlikely. Yeah, that party is going.
I only even know about that because I have a much older brother.
He is significantly older, and he looks like he's even 10 years older than that.
Right, but he's got. but listen, he's great for a live stream.
Perfect. Dave Broderick gets a huge shout out. Done so much for so many people. Amazing guy in the game. Great pro. Oh, just long. If we peel it back, take away all the stuff like this is so entertaining, it's the best thing, you know, so fun to watch at home, all that stuff, and the skill sets are phenomenal. Do you guys, John and Drew, think that playing in this just hit it and go for it style favors one team over another?
So I'm going to say we had some spectacular moments, but overall, I think a lot of the points are ending a little bit more on the sloppy side and the pressing side. And, you know, again, as a spectator, fun to watch. I mean, who wants to watch a million lobs? Everyone out there, you're supposed to laugh when I say that. But
it's true.
But it's exciting. But then you're watching some of these misses, and it's kind of like, oh, don't go for that. You know not to go for that, or you're never going to make that shot. And the risk was definitely not worth the reward. So to answer your question, I think it favors Nunez and Powers, actually.
Okay. Just because, like, on one level, I agree with that fully. John, chime in whenever on this. And then on the second level, I also think it doesn't allow them to sort of like fall into a thing where they're going to isolate somebody or carve somebody up in a screen or do this or that. So I think it mitigates one thing, but I think it ultimately favors Powers and and Nunez too.
Yeah, my response to that is I think it favors Nunez Powers as well, because to your point, you have to ask yourself, are we the best version of ourselves when we are a little bit slower and more calculated, or are we the best version of ourselves when we're going out there being dynamic and let it rip? And when they are at their very best, you could argue that Nunez's peak is the highest peak of anyone in the game right now. And if they're going to go out there with that mentality of go out and let it rip, if anyone is going to benefit the most from that, I think that is Nunez.
Let's not forget that Powers Nunez, they are the current national champs, so they are still, that's what you're looking at on the other side of the court. So you still feel that I have to get over the hump of beating a team
Advantage
at
Powers.
that level.
Sure.
And that
But the
means
people
something.
who've been doing it this year haven't been doing it by playing faster than that.
Correct.
They've been working the other end of it, the mental game, trying to get them a little out of position, get them pressing like they want to speed it up too much. All right, that was a huge break there for Nunez Powers. That was a back and forth game.
Game Power Nunez. They lead 2-1 in the second set.
I feel like it's
They won the first set 7-6.
There we go. I feel like it's going to go like this until we get to 5-4. Or, you know what I mean? Like it's going to get to that spot. And I do believe at one time you said that Pardo de Andrade and Salazar would be up 3-0 in this set.
Right. So even though we didn't really bet, I'll give you a dollar.
I'm not asking for the dollar. I just,
And something to note too, if we're going to keep playing at this speed, is fitness level. And bare minimum right now, we've been seeing Enrique sitting down for the last minute. Now that could be him, like you, Brad, not moving their feet in the first round, just purely in the name of energy conservation. But you also have to think if it comes down to a fitness battle, if we're going to keep playing at this speed, that might also give a slight edge to Nunez Powers.
Yeah, and there's no question, we brought this up a little bit before. Those guys had a tough three-setter. The third set went quickly, but they had a battle in that match against Brutsenko and West. And Nunez Powers were off the court in about an hour or less, right? And it was like a 3-1 or a 2-1 job where they were able to dictate the pace of play with their shot making, which is extensive. So it clearly could make a difference, even though the format of this tournament is a little easier on the body. Playing 2 yesterday and 3 today. Still work. What a get. Oh, way to go. He just kept his paddle flat and low.
That's an unreal backhand there from Enrique, falling away in the green.
Powers.
Great backhand.
So anticipating that, he's swinging on that volley. Oh. Yeah, that one should have been played by Pardo de Andrade, but they're moving around. It's a lot of speed in that point, not a lot of setup. And unfortunately, if you're hitting a drive and you make it and you get burned by the volley that comes after it, what it really means is you probably just should not have hit that drive. More often than not, it means they're ready and in position. You should have put them out.
Yeah, one other point about being able to play fast, what people have to realize is Mark Powers is the most experienced player on that court. He recognizes when playing fast is to his advantage and when playing fast is not. So he could kind of slow it down
Dirty love.
in the middle of a fast point and then speed it back up, where I feel like Enrique doesn't have that quite experience, but yet Enrique may have the best racket skills in all different racket sports on the court. He's just newest to paddle.
He's newest to paddle for sure. He's a very good padel player. He's an excellent rackets guy. And, all right, so 30-15 now for Nunez Powers.
15-30. 30-15, sorry. 30-15, yeah.
Yep, Nunez was not going to give up a point there, or two. Brad's in the box dancing a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm gonna.
I feel like
They're gonna play the music. I'm dancing to it or singing to it. It's one or the other.
Brad's not only commentating this match, but he's also curating the playlist for the Fairfield Open. A little fun fact for everyone.
Actually, no. I don't have a free ride on
30
playlist.
all.
Good classic rock song though. Egger winner.
I mean, that's such a great move. I mean, it's nice to be able to
30,
take
40.
2 steps from no man's land to inside the service box.
Oh, wow. So stunned by that, he couldn't even make a transition back. Completely.
Game Pardo
got
Salazar.
him. That was a big gain.
2 all, second set.
That's so good. What a great track down. Making him work.
I mean, the shot making of this match has just been so good. I almost feel like we have to add a "do not try this at home" caution to the banner of everyone watching. It's phenomenal stuff to watch. Incredibly difficult to replicate.
I think there are a lot of takeaways here. You know, if you have these types of skill sets, some of these things, and when you're saying don't try this at home, just means you don't have the skill set to do it yet. You're going to make too many errors trying it. When you have a skill set, it does open things up. Like Power's taking a forehand volley there. He has that ability, right?
Yeah.
And he takes a backhand volley there. His hands are that good. And his anticipation is that good. One of the biggest takeaways, actually, I think for a club player is seeing these opportunities. You can see how these players can volley anything if they know it's coming, right? You know, so one of the big things to think, and I think a lot of club players get caught up in just going for the shot because it's available, not necessarily if it's the right shot. It's really understanding what the right shot is. And, you know, if a guy's closing in and he's on top of it and volleying down at you, it's better off lobbing, right? It's that simple. It's not that complicated, right? And in some cases, these guys are just going for their shots, which is awesome. But now he's got to set them up. And 80% of these drives that are getting hit are anticipated, maybe 90. They're anticipated by their opponents, right? And the key ultimately is you're looking to hit a drive that is unanticipated or at least surprising.
Right now, Nunez Powers hitting them with the kitchen sink.
Yeah, and they're
see how,
defending.
and let's see, because sometimes the good defense is just going to force a press. So we'll see.
Yeah, force a missed overhead. Absolutely. That's a good rip. Those hands from everybody. See, Nunez baits him.
Oh my goodness.
Oh! There we go. Highlight reel right there.
Oh my goodness.
15
Beautiful.
love.
Powers. I'm surprised he actually took that much risk off the line because that ball came out hot.
That came out hot for sure. And if you happen to be away from your screen, you're going to get to see that in a few minutes, and don't miss it again, because that was pretty good. Enrique is feeling the backhand. He's even going after overheads with big backhands, which is a press.
I think that was I actually think it was a tired. I think he was tired. I didn't think he wanted to take the extra step. Oh! Sorry Sorry, dude, from Mark Powers. He did not mean to go up high, but he did mean to go at him, which is a smart play. He's got advantage in the point.
Yeah, and Jose was
15-30.
he was a little wrong-footed, so he kind of couldn't get out of the way. Otherwise, he would have.
Yeah, that was Enrique actually who got plugged there, I think. Pardo de Andrade. And great shot there.
15-40.
Good return. Still feeling the effects. Concussion protocol, perhaps? What do you think, John?
I mean, he might have to come back here to get just a quick test to make sure that he's still able to go out there and compete.
Perfect.
It's one of the harder falls I've seen on a paddle court in a while, to be honest with you.
That's just well-spotted drives. And he's trying to make
Game,
those volleys.
Nunez
Maybe a
Powers.
couple of those he should have bailed on.
They lead 3 games to 2. Second set, they won the first set 7-6.
Well, another one of our great sponsors is Corient. And Corient is excited to partner with the APTA because whether as advisors to our members or as members themselves, they're already part of the APTA community. Learn more at www.corient.com, the official wealth sponsor of the APTA. And I don't know about you, John, but I think all of us can use some good financial advice from time to time. Check those guys out. All right, Nunez Powers missed an opportunity to consolidate the break in their last service game. See if they can do that here. Action is still fast and furious and exceptionally skilled. Yeah. Yeah, anytime you're hitting 6 or 7 drives in a row, it's a different type of point. It means it almost gets a drill-like quality. I can see this going 2 ways, Drew, I think.
Well, Brad, it can only go 2 ways.
Yes, and I can see it going 2 ways. And one of them is
Love 15.
this thing gets closed out quickly by Nunez and Powers, or somehow they just keep trading these haymaker shots back and forth, and somebody misses in the wrong time, and we end up like close to a breaker again. Those are my 2 ways.
Yeah, I think it's, regardless of who wins this set, I think it's going to be a 7-5 or 7-6. Because both teams know how to change it up if the momentum's not going their way.
Yeah, I think they've gotten to a point, though, where I think they're committed to all in, Pardo de Andrade and Salazar, meaning I don't think they're slowing it down again. Maybe they will.
Or maybe they want to get to the band.
It's a great band. You can hear it. It's actually...
Can you name that tune?
I Love Rock and Roll.
By?
Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I would just say Joan Jett.
There you go.
At this point alone, I feel like we've seen 10, 11 forehand volleys, and I know during the break, Brad, that we were talking a little bit about what allows them to do it, and you were talking about just how good they are with their economy of motion, flipping between the forehand and the backhand.
Oh,
wow.
Half volley drive. That was, you want to leave that one through.
Love 30.
So here we go again. It is incredible stuff we're seeing here. Switching the net. Oh, that's just absolute beauty from Powers. What a shot. Good track down from Pardo de Andrade.
I will say,
15-30.
for a big guy, Enrique's got touch and just quick feet. It's amazing the balls he moves to, whether it's in the backcourt, closing in the net for a drop shot like you just saw. But what a shot, touch from Powers.
Yeah, great shot. He just reads the drive coming, and then the moment of contact, he lets his hands soften. He takes all the pace off it, but it looks the same. This is that one.
15-40.
And he misses it wide. I think he catches Enrique poaching over to the middle a little bit as he's swinging and tries making it too good.
All right, break a serve again. Trading
Game
some
Pardo
breaks.
Salazar. 3-all. Second set. 2. Love
long.
15.
That's
15 all.
big serve there from Salazar. No, from Pardo de Andrade, sorry.
He's not just hitting him heavy, he's doing a great job of putting it in the back eighth of that service box and making it just difficult enough for these guys to get good looks on their drives off him.
30-15.
Now there's playing fast and then there's making too many mistakes, right? And we're getting close to that zone, and the danger on this zone really is for Powers and Nunez. They got to keep it in a zone where they can play fast, they can still go for their shots. But they don't want to give Pardo de Andrade and Salazar life.
30 all.
Lots of uncharacteristic errors right now. I feel like all players are kind of really still testing the waters on what they can make.
Well, what they can make is anything. And it's a question of whether you're going to go for that anything or not. They can make at any time any one of these guys drive any ball. It's a question of whether you should, right? If it's the right choice. See, like that one there, he's fading back away.
Middle of the court.
Middle of the court.
30.
The guy's way back. He's 4 feet behind the baseline. You know, this to me would be how Pardo de Andrade and Salazar get back into it. These guys get too flippant. The other guys settle it in just a little, get 1 or 2 more errors. That's the only, I mean, that's how they get back in, or how they steal this set, basically. Dig from Powers. And many takeaways too, you know, the players can take away if you're watching this match is how these guys lead with their paddle. He makes a get, comes back up, and then his paddle's right in front of him again. The ball goes into his paddle. He's not pulling it back. Good cut off there from Pardo de Andrade. Great shot. That's so good. Look at this pace. Oh, wow. Just beautifully designed. That roller
Advantage,
heavy.
Pardo.
All the difference in the world. Set that thing up.
And for as much as we've been talking about the offense tonight, which has been amazing, the defense has been equally incredible. And like, if you are a club player, maybe before you start asking yourself if you can hit all of these shots that these guys are hitting, ask yourself, would you have the ability to make these digs? And if not, that can be a pretty good area of improvement. The more balls that you can keep in play, you can play and compete against a lot of different players with that skill set.
That's just a
what
unbelievable shot and get.
No!
And there it is when you make that one
Game
get
Pardo Salazar.
when the point's supposed to be over.
They lead 4-3 in the second set.
Sometimes you can't help yourself but try to make the next one better.
Nunez Powers won the first set 7-6.
No, this is the zone right here, the danger zone. They got to, okay. Now, 2 games in a row there for those guys. Yeah, we can hit our shots. But they lost that game because he tried a half volley shot over there. He just missed that overhead. They tried, you know, that's the loss, right? Take it back a half step. You know, what's unique about this is in many matches, sometimes you get to that point where it's just a battle. And it's a mental battle, and it just becomes a battle. These guys aren't battling in that regard, right? It's not a battle. It's, well, like, who's going to settle it in, right? And the shot making is off the charts.
what a hold there.
15 love.
Nunez with the dropper.
Yeah, he has great hands.
15 all.
Another big backhand from PDA.
You a fan of PDA?
30, 15.
Totally. Enrique's new name is PDA.
I like it. Makes life easier.
Forty, 15.
All right, what was that, 7 drives in a row?
I mean,
40,
from,
30.
Salazar, all really good drives, I can't
They're
say.
spotting the drives. They're not going for too much. I mean, it's still huge, but still not overhitting. Well,
All right, 40-30 now.
ooh, that ball could have been called long, I think.
Nunez powers. Gonna get this thing even.
Brad, how many people do you think at home are dancing a little bit to the music they get in the background? Because
You get the combo here for sure. You have the
Yes.
opportunity to watch some incredible shot making. There's a little lead cord there. Amazing
Deuce.
shot to bring it back to deuce. And you get a little opportunity to dance.
yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, come on. I was going to give John this one. I just wanted to get him
You think
involved.
you could get this?
Well,
Sorry.
I know if we
I'll
had
leave
one,
the next layup for you, for him.
if we had
I'm
one
not sure
shot.
I'm not sure he had this one.
Oh, he had this one.
I definitely had it that it was Michael Jackson. I don't know if I would have given you the album though.
We're not going to that extent.
That's right. You're not going.
Advantage, Pardo.
You're not going up against Baba Booey on this one.
All right. Big moment from 40-15 down. What a volley. These guys have the opportunity to get up 5-3 here. Fake drive there. He's taking this one. There it is. Break. 5-3 now.
Game, Pardo, Salazar.
Salazar can see if he can serve out this second set.
Well, anybody who ever said that it's a little harder
Yes,
to
do that.
drive the ball when it's cold out, I think they're proving you wrong here because
ball.
they are spotting their drives. They are
I can take the old one.
firing away, and it's cold out there.
Yeah, but it's not that kind of prohibitive cold, but you're right. And also just the game and the balls and the liveliness of balls has sort of mitigated that to a degree. And, the screens themselves, they're all uniform and lively now. That weather you played in Boston, that is that kind of frigid cold that really affects play a ton more. Like this, and these guys are hitting it so much that it's actually not like slowed down. The ball's not even getting a chance to cool down. It's like, I don't know if you guys ever played squash, but ball warms up and it's actually downright hot.
15 love.
Right? This ball is just getting whacked every 5 seconds. You allow a ball 20, 30 times, let the cold get on it. These guys are just murdering this thing. That one's long.
15 all.
Yeah, it's 5-3. You don't want to give away those points right now. You want to make them earn every single point.
But kind of the way we've been talking about it, they're just playing. I don't think that's even a
15-30.
factor that he's thinking about. I'm not sure. I mean, what do you think, John?
I think it's smart for them to continue playing the just play it model when
30
they're
all.
in set position, whether that be the net or the baseline. I still don't think they have had the advantage in transition in this matchup yet. And to Drew's point, if you're going to give one away from being, going for a big shot when you are set up and it's your backhand, then you're going to thump it like you have for the last 2 hours. I love it.
30,
a 360 forehand transition ball off the back cage. Maybe not the maybe not the best time to push margins here when you're up 5-3.
No, I agree with all of that. My point is, I don't think they're thinking that.
Oh, I don't think.
Like, that's my point.
I
They're not thinking that
100%
way.
agree with you too.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm saying same thing right there. Jose.
Game
Jose,
Nunez Powers.
There's a real chance that we are talking more about strategy in the
Pedro
booth
Salazar
than any of these
leads
4 guys
5
have
games
the entire
to
match.
4 second set.
I'm going to tell you what.
Nunez Powers won the first set 7-6.
If Jose went for that shot and he was playing with Alvi Regalado, Alvi's eyes would be so far in the back of his
Right.
head from rolling them.
Agree with you 100%. And this is a different match if Salazar and
serving
Regalado are
5.
playing. They're playing for something different. In a weird way, Salazar and Pardo de Andrade, they want to win, but they're playing with house money. They're in the finals. They were the second seed, so obviously it's a very talented team. Oh, tough one there. He's fadeaway cutter.
Love 15.
And a lot of this, and you talked about it earlier in the match, Brad, is one of the benefits of playing with different partners is seeing what you can and can't get away with. But you could argue that there's a double benefit for Salazar in this matchup. This is a team in Nunez and Powers that he knows he's going to run into multiple times again this season, most of them probably with Alvi Regalado, and understanding exactly what are the margins that you can push the game to be the difference maker and win that match versus lose like they did last year in 3 sets in National.
15 all.
Wow. Incredible transition balls there.
Getting texts right now from people. They like the name PDA for Enrique, so we'll see.
30-15.
We'll see if it sticks. Yeah. I mean, he is a gentle giant.
40-15.
All right, 40-15. That's a thunderous kick.
WWE style, right down the road.
WWE style for PDA. All right, there we go.
Game Nunez Powers. 5 all, second set.
And if I'm an opponent here, I always get bursts of energy seeing my opponents throw a little bit of a fit like we just saw PDA and Salazar doing back-to-back points. I get that you can be frustrated,
Love
but
15.
this is almost to the extent now that it's just giving Powers and Nunez more life.
Well, this is the moment when I expected to see teams bear down. They've gotten to this point.
Love 30.
And it's hard to say Pardo de Andrade. I mean, they hit some amazing shots, but it's the way the game ended with like 2 or 3 just simple errors, right?
Love 40.
This is either the moment where somebody's going to respond or not, and right now it's all Nunez Powers, and this is what I expected to see when we get to this point. Somebody's just going to be, okay, this is actually a really big moment. Let's take this. It was a really big moment the last game, but they're sort of waiting to now.
$15.40.
Oh, just gets him to reach there, and another, you would almost say,
Game
with the
Nunez
central
Powers.
forehand.
They lead
right?
6
Moving
games
to the
5
side, they
in the
bounce it
second
down
set.
into him.
Yeah, and that's a tough ball for Jose to hit. He's taking that overhead from the service line, basically putting it in the wheelhouse of Mark Powers.
Yep.
And a 5-3 lead for Pardo de Andrade, and Salazar quickly has evaporated into a 6-5 lead for Nunez Powers, who are 1 game away from taking this match in straight sets.
Brad, whenever this match ends, it might end this set. Maybe we go a third set. But can you do the post-match interview from inside of the tent?
That would be amazing, and I'd be happy to do it. It's actually more of a question for you guys at the Pro Flight folks. Can we do the post-match interview from inside the tent, Pro Flight?
All right, well,
as our UTA YouTube channel live streamers today.
All right, well, I guess we have
all of the content will be basically just hearing music.
one to many games to try to figure that out. I'll talk to Big E.
How did he get his nickname, Big E?
He was in the same room as PDA, and just the names were flying.
The names were flying. You know, there was always this great fair growing up around Connecticut and Massachusetts called the Big E. You know, I wonder if
15
he has
love.
Connection with that. You guys aren't from around here, but. Well played there by PDA. I'm on board.
Brad, I think we have Big E dancing behind the monitor over there.
Yeah, it's a sight I wish I could unsee.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We have to see this again.
Unbelievable.
Holy smokes. Swinging
get
out of
that?
his shoes. PDA.
That is wide. What?
Insane.
It's a world-class scamper.
Oh my God.
It's a world-class scamper. That's well called. That's a good call there, John Kilmer. World-class scamper. Oh, tough spot.
30-15.
All right, here we are. Double match point. He's going for it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. I thought it was all drives.
Mix it up with the drop, with the lob.
Yeah. Yeah, what's your basic ratio? 5 lobs to every drive, maybe?
Or 9.
Unbelievable. It's a repeat. Look at that. Yeah, 9. Yeah, lobs to every drive, right? Yeah, this match might be even up even. Such great hands again on display once, then another. And that's how it ends.
Goodness.
Stab,
Game,
drop,
set,
volley.
match. Championship.
Nunez power 7-6, 7-5. We'll have a quick on-court interview. John, Drew, pleasure calling this with you.
That was great. Thank you, guys.
And as Brad Easterbrook heads on court to do his on-court interview with this year's champions, Nunez and Powers, I'm sure he will be asking them lots about what could be the most dynamic final that we've seen so far this season. Lots of drives, lots of phenomenal forehand and backhand volleys. They might have been feeding off of the energy of the amazing crowd and the amazing band that is right next to the court. great start to the 2025 APTA Tour season.
Yeah, John, great match to watch. I think that last point sums it up. We talked about it earlier when guys at this level are anticipating a drive coming, their volleys are just phenomenal. Guillermo Nunez anticipated that last drive coming, steps up, hits a drop volley winner to end the match. It's a shot, again, if you're in person, you don't understand how that was possible. It looked great from our monitor as well. And congratulations to Powers and Nunez. I mean, they were tougher down the stretch. Both sets could have gone either way. When it got really close, they just won a few more points, and that's what this match came down to. But it was really fun to talk about. Again, I can't wait to get over into the tent and celebrate with these guys before we wrap it up and head back home. All right, I think they're about to start the interview. We have just another minute. John, where will you be next?
My next one will be the Maryland States Tournament. Haven't played that one before. That one should be fun. Then doing an invitational in Pittsburgh, one that I've heard great things about, haven't gotten the opportunity to play. And then playing Charlottesville, so a couple in the mid-Atlantic.
That's great. Very cool.
All leading up to Short Hills. Then the Steel City Classic, a little bit of Indy, and then the Philadelphia Nationals. This should be good. And then who knows what I'll do with all my free time post-Nationals.
All right, looks like we have a little party going on court. Dancing outside the tent. People dancing inside the tent.
They're definitely keeping the on-court vibes high.
Jackie Cameron and Ann Waldron rocking and rolling. Here we go with the winners.
Oh my God. Guys, great match. Thank you so much. First, congratulations to Jose and Enrique. But like you guys, the champions for the inaugural Fairfield Open, thank you so much. And it was a great match to watch. Fantastic. I'm going to just thank our sponsors. We got the APTA and their national champions, the national sponsors, Volley and Corian. Our local sponsors, the Fairfield Leagues, men's and women's, and all the fans, amazing. Xenon Paddle, M4 Paddle, and our diamond sponsor, the Voyager Group at Wells Fargo Advisors. And we have to thank Rolling Hills for hosting this, the members here for showing up, the general manager and the staff for putting on a great show, and then the Fairfield Open Committee. Obviously, my co-host, Macy Elliott, Jim, Sharon, Sarah, Peter, Marianne, Lisa, Tiernan, and Austin. Thank you so much. and our umpire, Alain, and the fantastic APTA staff. What a great job. Thank you so much. Brad?
All right. Gentlemen, first of all, from the crowd, let's hear it for our champions here. Number 1 seeds Mark Powers and reigning national champions and Guillermo Nunez. Guys, great match. The athleticism, the shot making on display was incredible. The volleys off the charts. A lot of drives, there was a lot of hitting today, meaning it was a lot of attack play, which suits you guys really well. Was there ever a moment, though, even though the style suits your game, where you guys got worried or nervous in the second set when you went down 5-3?
All right, thank you. Jeff, Macy, APTA, everybody, amazing tournament. All the staff and the refs for being here on this cold day. Great match. Thank you, Mark, of course. We've been playing better and better. I think we are sticking to how we want to play the sport, and we're getting really good looks, and I think we competed very well this weekend, especially today. These guys, Enrique and Jose, are all big hitters, big drivers that we knew that we needed to be steady at the net and just close when we needed to close and give up the net when I think it was necessary. Always fun to play with this guy. His talent is off the chart, and it was a good tournament. I'm really happy the way we've been just competing, figuring out just how to get better, and can't wait for what's coming.
Well, terrific. Mark, I know you got to go to some, so I won't keep you, but any final thoughts?
No, I mean, thank you to everyone. This was a phenomenal event. We hope this is an annual event. It was so well done. Guillermo, we had a blast this weekend. It's January, so now I'm actually getting really excited about paddle again, which is fun. No, but to your point, those guys are great players. At 5-3, obviously, we felt like we had to tighten it down, tighten it up a bit. But there was also a lot of weird, there's a lot of big ball hitting, but with the wind and how much the temperature dropped, there was a lot of weird movements on the ball, and it's never that easy to time. It's hard enough to time at night. My vision's horrible now, but we were kind of all battling that. So there may have seemed to be like some weird misses at different points, but it really was. I mean, balls were dying quickly because it feels like it's 18 degrees right now. It's windy, but it was a fun battle.
Pretty close to that. Right.
But it was a great battle.
Really
They're great competitors, and we're just happy. We're happy to have had a great weekend. So.
All right, once again, that's a wrap here for the Fairfield Open. Let's hear it for our champions. All right, congratulations, Guillermo.
Just huge hi to the peeps at the Pelan Country Club. I know they're watching, so this is for you guys.
Perfect. All right, that's a wrap.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome to the Cutter Challenge, brought to you by Volley.
job. Hey, good stuff to you.
Patty, good job.
Yeah, a lot of fun. You guys look great out there. How long have you been playing?
Who, me? Oh, I've been playing my whole life. How about you?
Wow, I only started playing when I retired.
Someone say retired?
Looking good out there, Eli.
Thank you.